Kevin, there's just too much content for us to do one Elite Heat. The episode that came out, I mean, as we're recording it like a few minutes ago, but for you guys a few days ago,
Yeah.
that show was like an hour and 35 minutes. That was like one of our biggest shows. And there's still more to discuss. We've got Fastlane today. We've got Wrestle Dream. There was an NXT No Mercy show that happened like the day before that.
Yeah.
Adam Copeland's here, pal. You can't say his name that starts with E and ends in J. You can't say that. It's just Adam Copeland. So Kevin, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, pal. I want to say this. This is going to be a 2-hour show because we have to break down we have to break down every move, every piece of action from NXT No Mercy. Then we have to break down every single move, every piece of action, every entrance, every rest hold from AEW Wrestle Dream. And then we have to break down in great detail for about 45 minutes the mighty Adam Copeland's grand debut in AEW, and so much more. It's going to be a loaded Elite Heat. Stay tuned, pal.
Kevin, I just, we've got to start off. This was the match, Kevin. Going into Wrestle Dream, I looked at the card and said, damn, Athena, Billy Starks, Satoshi Kojima, and Keith Lee. Keith Lee, the one who was going to, the one who faced Randy Orton in his first pay-per-view within a week of his main roster debut in WWE, the one who nearly eliminated Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, the one who faced Roman Reigns at the end of the Survivor Series match, that Keith Lee versus Shane Taylor Promotions, Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Diamante, and Mercedes Martinez in an 8-person mixed tag, 5-minute long pre-show match. Kevin, do you want to start it off there, pal?
Well, before people click off this podcast and we lose all our listeners, I'm gonna get this train on the right track, pal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the great Adam Copeland, the rated R superstar, the mighty Edge, as he was formerly known as. That was his slave name. He has the shackles off. He could be free now in the wrestling world. Like, that was... I want to say this off top. That was beyond cringe to hear Edge say that he's free now. Like, that was like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, whatever. We could address that later in full. But I have to say this, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, because I know that the AEW fans are sensitive, if you will. So I'm not trying to be mean. But I have to say this. What was going through Edge's mind, right? At that moment, when he's doing his big entrance, he's ramping up the crowd, right? He's looking at one side, he's looking at the full crowd, the full audience there, and then he runs across to the other side where the hard cam is, and he's like, oh, wow, the arena's empty on this side. Oh, this is not what I'm used to. Now, what was going through Edge's mind? Was he like, did I make a really big mistake by signing with this company? Like, you think Tony Khan was in the meetings, the one-on-one meetings, Adam Copeland, Tony Khan behind closed doors, no cameras, no roads to the top film crew. It's just Tony Khan, Adam Copeland, mano a mano, one-on-one. You think Tony Khan's selling him a bit of goods? Just like, hey, man, we sell out arenas across the United States. We even went to England. We sold out at 85,000 people there. No problem. And then Edge sees, oh, hey, this arena in Seattle's half empty. Uh-oh.
I love the way you pose that question. I think it was pretty obvious, well, to me at least, watching Edge's media scrum, he's in AEW for 2 reasons. One, it's to just finish his career alongside Christian, it seems like, and just work with him a bit and do stuff there. And 2 is money. I don't want to know the amount of money he's being paid, because by the sounds of it, he's going to be doing like the full-time, the CM Punk role, where he's going to be there full-time as like the face of the promotion, it seems like. Kevin, I love Edge. So does most people. Edge is awesome. Adam Copeland, he's just a great guy, period. You see that on his Twitter. Just generally, he's a cool guy. But the fact of the matter is, AEW's solution for a new era is bringing in a 48-year-old ex-WWE legend.
49-year-old.
49, sorry. WWE's what they're doing, and not just a direct comparison, but I mean, they've brought in Jade. It's like, this is going to be our big star. This is someone we're going to push. She's however old, far younger than Edge. And, is Edge the great solution? I mean, he's a Band-Aid temporarily, I guess, right? Like, we discussed a lot of this now last show. I'm not going to recap all the points, but, he'll probably make me and you watch those segments. You might tune into a Dynamite or a Collision more, maybe, just to see how Edge goes. But then what happens in 3 weeks? What happens in 6 weeks? What happens in 3 months? Maybe Edge is in a great MJF feud that takes over AEW and it's the best thing. Hopefully, that'd be great. But obviously, yeah, there's a sugar hit now. Oh my god, Wrestle Dream. Oh my god, it's Adam Copeland. Yeah, and I thought it was cool. Like it's a cool moment. It's getting heaps of views. But that's just my question. What does this look like in 6, 12, 18 weeks? Is Adam Copeland deep down like, yes, I love this decision I made, as he's looking out at the empty seats, hard cam side? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm pessimistic, but maybe I just have to love this because Adam Copeland's happy doing this. I don't know, pal. What were your thoughts? So it was the main event of Wrestle Dream. Walk us through it. Adam Copeland's music hits. Talk to us about your thoughts.
Literally, the only thing that I'm not even exaggerating, the only thing that jumped out to me was the fact that Edge realized that the crowd was empty. And that the arena was half empty. That was literally the only thing I took away from watching this. Like, I get up for work, it's like, whatever, 5:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I check my phone, I see, oh wow, Adam Copeland in AEW at Wrestle Dream. So I click on the video, watch it, as most people did. And that's honestly the only take that I had for like 20 minutes. I was like, wow, Edge, in real time, Edge realized what he's really in for right now. It's crazy. Like, it was so funny watching him. He's just like, oh, it's empty. And just keeps going, does his entrance. Later on, I was thinking about it, and I was like, one question. What does Edge really bring to the table here with AEW? What is it that he brings to the table long term? He can't be Edge, so that's kind of like, how do I explain to people that don't know wrestling? I'm like, hey, this is Adam Copeland, bro. He doesn't really resemble the Edge of old, that most people that like my age grew up watching. You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, it's the opponents that he's going to be in the ring with. It's Edge. So he's going to be trying to elevate people. Quite frankly, he's going to be in the ring with people that don't deserve to be in the ring with him. From, like, a star power level. Not necessarily, like, are they good enough to hang in the ring with him? But from a star power level, we've seen it in WWE. He was trying to make Finn Balor into a star. Like, he was, like, the 25th person that tried to make him a star.
Yeah.
So, what is Edge going to do now in AEW? He's going to be wrestling Lee Moriarty? And Swerve Strickland? Like, I don't know.
Well, pal, he's wrestling Luchasaurus. That has been confirmed.
Yes.
That's going to happen in about a week.
Yeah.
I think they said.
The next Dynamite. Not the one coming, but the next one.
Yeah, so they've announced that. So that we know is happening. In fairness, I'll play devil's advocate here, and this is something that's being said around the community. How Edge was being booked in his last, year in WWE. Obviously, he created Judgment Day, and he was, the leader. And then there was the Fergal thing for, 9 months. And I thought that was disgraceful. I mean, I've bashed Fergal enough. You've made that Fergal comment. Finn Balor in 2023, is that the best you've got for Edge? I mean, he might as well go to AEW and do stuff with Christian, feud with MJF, wrestle a couple of these younger guys. You might as well, considering. I mean, what in WWE did he have left to do is what I'll propose. Was there something else he could have done? I don't know. Could Edge have wrestled Logan Paul, pal? Edge versus Bron Breakker? Maybe. That probably would have been pretty good, but I don't know. So yeah, Edge is now here. I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch the clips. I'll see where it goes. Happy for Adam Copeland, pal. But yeah, as you say, is he gonna be the rated R superstar, the 2006 Edge, making out with Lita, live sex scenes, the heel you hate? Is he gonna be the 2021 Edge, facing off against Roman Reigns, getting stacked, pinned alongside Daniel Bryan? And Kevin, one more thing I got to say. 2021, okay, WrestleMania 37 main event. Daniel Bryan, Edge, Roman Reigns. 2021, Daniel Bryan jumps ship to AEW. 2023, Adam Copeland jumps ship to AEW. 2025, Roman Reigns jumping ship to AEW? Question mark?
Oh my god. I'm not even going to entertain that. I will say this. This is the other question I had after I really got to thinking about Adam Copeland's debut. I was like, okay, am I going to watch Dynamite now? That was the question. I'm do I watch Dynamite live on Wednesday night at 8 p.m.?
Are you?
Probably not. I'll be honest. I mean, they already told us what he's going to be doing. He's going to address the crowd and set up his match with Luchasaurus. So why do I need to see it if I already know? Thanks to the Tony Khan and the media scrum.
Mm-hmm.
That was I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch it, but then I heard Tony Khan give it all away in the scrum, so I was like, okay, I don't need to see it. I'll catch the clip. Um, I mean, some of the stuff with Christian will be funny. I'm sure Christian is gonna have a line like, "Oh, your mother's dead, Edge." I'm sure we'll see that. We'll get Edge and Christian and the Hardys. Are you interested in seeing that? I saw some people saying that the Dudley Boys should also come to AEW since they recently reunited. You want to see Edge, Christian, the Dudleys, the Hardys run it back, TLC 3, I should say.
This is just TNA. Like, that's what I'm hearing. This sounds like TNA Impact in like 2013, 2014. Which wrestlers Dixie Carter going to sign? Right? It's like, cool. But is this an alternative? Is this a true different product that captivates? Is it? I don't know. Once again, good for Adam Copeland. But yeah, I don't even know, pal.
You know who said it best in regards to like older wrestlers continuing to be in the spotlight in main event matches? Shane Douglas, I think, said it best. He was like, "Hey, Terry Bradshaw, great quarterback for the Steelers. Do I want to see Terry Bradshaw be the quarterback of the Steelers when he's 45? No, not really. At some point, they got to build this new crop of wrestlers. Like, by the time, realistically, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, some of the other guys that AEW is building around, by the time those guys become main eventers, they're going to be like 40 at this rate. Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara have been with the company since day one, and neither one of them are really sustainable main event programs and are viewed as main event superstars. Everybody gets pushed to the back of the rung when another main eventer, former WWE guy, First Ballot Hall of Fame, or whatever Tony Khan builds him up as, walks through the door. It's not just Adam Copeland, it's Christian, it's Big Show, guys like Cesaro, Samoa Joe, all these guys go right to the front every time.
And how do you think that makes those full-time guys who've been there since day dot or been there since the start, who work for AEW full-time, they're 28, 31, they're trying to make it, and then it's just every other week or every month, ex-WWE legend, here you go. And then when they think they're going to get a push, forget about that. And they're off TV for 3 months and they barely get a spot. Like how do you reckon Malachi Black feels? Like, oh, okay, there's a new action figure here. I guess forget about me then. Okay. Yeah. Andrade Alidolo. Like even Claudio, who was like the big one a year ago, now he's just on the pre-show. And he's falling down the queue of Tony Khan's favorite action figures in real time. So I don't know. AEW is a fascinating case study. It's like watching in real time just a rich kid with too much money playing with action figures. It's really interesting. But as long as the wrestlers are happy, I guess, that's the main thing.
And it's not just the. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I guess Adam Copeland would be happy considering he's making the CM Punk money, presumably, which is however many $1 million. Gets to work with Christian. Why wouldn't Adam Copeland be happy? That's great for him. But it's the wrestlers who are going to be there day dot every week in 3, 5, 10 years. What's it for them? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's not just the wrestlers that are there full time. It's the average everyday viewer of pro wrestling. Like I can strike up a conversation with somebody at a bar about pro wrestling, and I can tell them about AEW, and they might be hooked, and they might want to see it. Then I show them a clip, and then they're like, "Wait, is that Christian?" Christian, this actually happened. That's how I know this. Christian, what is he doing? Like, why is he wrestling right now? Like he's like 50. Like this is what the everyday fan looks at. Like an everyday fan is gonna look at Edge and Christian and the Hardys feuding, like in a commercial for Dynamite that's being promoted through NBA on TNT. And they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, what is this knockoff WWE? Why are all these old guys here? It doesn't do anything for the brand when you don't trust the young stars.
Now, Kevin, on that, let's just have a quick few minutes just on Wrestle Dream itself, because that's the Adam Copeland thing. Firstly, MJF. Now, this is the star they've made. In 5 years, this is the guy by far. He's the star. Talk to us about his position.
So he's in the opening match. I'm gonna make sure that I don't butcher the names of the gentlemen he wrestled against. So it was MJF versus The Righteous, Dutch and Vincent, in a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. So there's a lot of things going on here. First thing that pops out to my brain is this is the AEW champion. This is the face of the company. And remind you this too. I don't know if you're aware of this, but did you see how bad Christian Cage buried the AEW World Championship in the All Out? I think it was All Out media scrum last month. He literally said this like almost verbatim. He was like, "I have the most prestigious title. I'm gonna main event a pay per view in a couple weeks. What is the AEW World Champion doing? I'm the face of TNT. Like, I'm the face of the network. I'm the biggest star in the company. This title is more prestigious than the AEW World Championship. This title is more prestigious than any championship in wrestling." Now, he didn't even say wrestling. He almost said in wrestling. He said in the company. He couldn't even bring himself to say this is the most prestigious title in wrestling. But he literally goes on the media scrum, sitting next to Tony Khan, buries MJF and the championship, and then you got MJF, who's a champion, having a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. I get it. Tony Khan spent like $40 million of his father's money on Ring of Honor. You know, Tony Khan paid like, even with inflation and with modern prices, I think he paid like 3-4 times more for Ring of Honor than what Vince McMahon paid for WCW. So we'll let that sit in. Yeah, MJF's here. He's opening the show, which is, it's like, I don't even know what a good equate for WWE would be for this. It would be like I don't even know who the NXT Tag Team Champions are, so I can't even make the comparison. But it'd be like Roman Reigns opening up like a B level or C level pay per view. Like, oh, Roman Reigns opens up Fastlane. There you go. He opens up Fastlane, and he's defending the NXT Tag Team Championships. Him and Jey Uso are the Tag Team Champions. Jey is hurt. It's just Roman, and he's defending the Tag Team titles against two guys from NXT that are like good wrestlers, but not a lot of people know. Like that's the equivalent here of what we're looking at.
It's really weird, and yeah, I get it. Yeah, Cole had his, they did the segment. He was like emotional, and he can't wrestle, and he can't be there to support MJF. I get they did that, and then MJF. I guess they're gonna do MJF and Jay White. I think that's where they're going.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, that'll be a good match. MJF will win. Amazing. But yeah, like it's a weird position, eh? And when it comes to AEW's creative, this is their world champion. I remember when WWE opened. Oh, it was one of the SmackDown 2016 shows in, I think, September or October. It was Styles, Ambrose, and Cena opened the show in the triple threat WWE title match. Everyone was like, WTF? Why is it opening? I think that was because there was something on, like some real life thing happening around like 10 p.m. So they were like, okay, we'll get all their eyeballs on at 8 p.m. And everyone was like, why is this happening then? That was the title match, a big triple threat match involving one of the greatest ever, Styles and Moxley, Ambrose. This is MJF against who are these guys again? Dutch and Vincent, the Righteous. Okay, sure, and I get it. Oh, it's just a filler show. It's only Wrestle Dream. It's not like All Out. That you're missing the point entirely. This is the world friggin' champion. This is MJF. This is the guy who's going to make a ridiculous amount of millions of dollars when his contract's up, and when Nick Khan sits him down and goes, you're going to main event 3 of the next 4 WrestleManias against Cody, against Roman, against Randy Orton, these big stars. How many do you want? Blank check, here you go, Max. And this is what he's doing versus the Righteous. Okay, sure. I don't know. Anything else, Kevin, on that, or do you want to move on to another match?
No, yeah, let's move on. Good.
Kevin, I mean, up and down this card, I mean, there's 14 matches, which I want to say as well is just way too much. Now, Triple H and WWE's brought in the NXT TakeOver model where it's like 6 or 7 matches, as we'll get to with Fastlane in a few minutes. But Wrestle Dreams, 14 matches. How many of these matches need to be there? Does the Don Callis family against Jericho and the Golden Elite need 23 minutes in the middle of the show? Does that need to happen? Does the kickoff need to be 4 matches? Right? Like, if you're going to have Keith Lee's position be that ridiculous thrown together lottery of wrestlers where Tony Khan literally gets his hands to his action figure collection, grabs 8 and just throws them on the ground. That's what that match is. I mean, fair enough, but does that need to happen? Really? Just don't have Keith Lee on. Just have him main event a Rampage or something and build up a match around that. I don't know. Claudio Castagnoli with John Moxley is facing Josh Barnett on the kickoff show, I guess. That's Cesaro and Dean Ambrose, 2 WWE stalwarts of the 2010s. And now that's their position. Luchasaurus is going to be facing Adam Copeland in a week on a big match. He was on the kickoff as well, or the pre-show, the buy-in, whatever they call it. And I'm looking up and down this card, and it's just sort of all over the place. I get it was a tribute show, it's a thing for Wrestle Dream. I understand it's not their WrestleMania, it's not their Double or Nothing, it's not All Out. But Kevin, you look at this card, is what I'm saying fair? Is it a bit like WTF in some places? 14 matches,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's all over the place. Claudio, the number 13 wrestler in the world, I believe, according to the PWI, he's on the pre-show. Interesting. I guess he had a better 2022/2023 than Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave that. I'll digress there. Yeah, I do want to hit on a positive note. I want to say this. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page. That was a hell of a match. Swerve is set for a big push after beating Hangman clean. Love to see it. I think it was clean, if I remember correctly. You love to see that. That's always great. Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. Hell of a technical wrestling match. That's like the modern day version of Kurt Angle and Bret Hart, which we never got to see, so that's cool. It's awesome. Bryan Danielson's on his Kobe Bryant run, his farewell tour. Love to see it. I want to talk about the main event though. Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW TNT Championship. So I mentioned earlier how Christian was burying the AEW Championship, right? And ends up I guess proving himself right, even though he's in character, in kayfabe, as the insiders would say. He ends up proving that to be right. He ends up being the face of AEW, main eventing a pay-per-view, having a big match with Darby Allin. Edge comes back. Edge comes back after the match. And I want to say this too about Edge's return, just what happened. So, it all breaks down. Darby Allin's in there, Sting's in there. Christian's about to hit Sting with a concerto. Edge comes out, and Edge gets in Christian's face. And I'm watching this okay, this is cool. Yeah. And one question I had there, I was would I be more interested in this if it happened in WWE? What do you think about that? If you saw Edge and Christian face off in a WWE ring in 2023 on the road to WrestleMania or the road to SummerSlam, would you be more intrigued in it if it happened in WWE ring?
Well, I remember they did their little face-off thing at the 2021 Royal Rumble before Christian left, and I was oh, this is cool, and that happened. It's a hard one to answer. I mean, maybe, perhaps. I was thinking Kevin, my perspective on it is you've got AEW, as we sort of discussed. I'm not going to rehash every point here, but you need, you either want young stars, new stars, and the closing angle to a pay-per-view is 49-year-old Christian trying to do a concerto to 64-year-old Sting, and then 49-year-old Adam Copeland runs out and stops him and confronts him. I don't know how sustainable that is for a company long term. I get Darby Allin was in the match, and that was the main event match. I get it, but the ending angle, none of these wrestlers will be able to physically wrestle in 3 to 4 years. So I don't know. Is that fair? But no, that's the initial question. Yeah, if having WWE, maybe I'd be a tiny bit more interested. I don't know. It's hard one to answer.
I honestly don't think I'd be doing backflips to see Christian versus Edge. For on a 3 pay-per-view run in WWE, WrestleMania, then Backlash, and then SummerSlam, Cody Brock style. I don't think I'd be doing backflips, taking that to the bank. Oh my god, I can't wait to watch Edge and Christian. I would probably look at it okay, yeah. I hope neither one of them gets injured. I hope it's a good match, but I wouldn't be going crazy, setting the world on fire. Let's talk about Christian's post-match media scrum though. This was epic. Did you see this?
Kevin, enlighten... I watched a bit of it, but just enlighten the listeners. What happened, pal? What happened?
He's doing the best work of his career, in my opinion. From a character standpoint, this dude figured it out. He buried Brian Alvarez. When Brian Alvarez got up to ask him a question at the media scrum, Brian Alvarez Christian. And Christian goes, oh god, I love talking to Marks. And then Christian's are you a wrestler, Brian? And Brian's yeah, I used to wrestle back in the day. He's well, you probably sucked. That's why you're here asking me questions, and I'm the big star. And then he's like, "You gonna give me ratings? Did you give me a cute 5-star rating, Brian?" Unbelievable. It was great. It was great. I hope that was a shoot. I hope that was Jay Riso talking to Brian Alvarez in real life.
That's brilliant. No,
Yeah, what a freaking legend, pal. Good.
That's great. But no, I will say, just to make, I'll be a bit positive on that. I think just to rehash what you said, the main event match itself, I mean, it went 25 minutes. I thought it was good. The Brian stuff, need I say more? I mean, that was just, it was good. Not my style per se, that sort of wrestling, but needless to say, it was good. And yeah, I saw a bit of the Hangman thing, solid as well. But just my overall thoughts, obviously the big ending everyone's talking about, interesting to see where that goes with Adam. You can't say Edge Copeland, pal. And then there you have it. Kevin, any other closing thoughts on Wrestle Dream, or do you want to move on?
I think we're ready to talk about Fastlane, pal. Fastlane 2023. You want to touch on NXT No Mercy? Just like a quick roundup on what happened.
Do you? I mean, what would be the main thing you want to address on No Mercy, pal? What would be your main takeaway?
Oh, I think it's a new era for NXT. I think we're gonna see Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker come up pretty soon. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Maybe not Braun Breaker because he lost to Baron Corbin, so maybe he's in the doghouse now. No pun intended. But I think Carmelo Hayes. I think his time is up in NXT. I think he would look great alongside the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, whatever faction they got going on. Put Carmelo Hayes in there, give him the U.S. title, have him injure Rey Mysterio, and take the U.S. title from his cold, dead hands. Like, why not? You know, Carmelo Hayes is he's a star. He's too big for NXT. That's what that was my number one takeaway. Secondly, Becky Lynch, like her return run to NXT, kind of is the problem with NXT now. That not the problem, but it's just NXT is they're so down bad. They got Becky Lynch over there main eventing shows to try to get intrigue.
I don't mind Becky in NXT personally. I think it's a decent move to reinvigorate her a little bit, give her something different. And I like the stuff with Stratton. I like the whole thing of, well, I've done everything. You know, who are you? Prove yourself. I do like that in a sense. If every match on the show is like that, then no. But you know, just as a one-off sort of thing for a little program, I like it. One thing I will say, Melo Hayes is clearly the star. Dragunov, I'm not. I mean, he's a good matches guy. I don't know. To me, he hasn't proved himself as anything but that. You know, if Kevin, if you get asked by one of your friends at work or someone like, who's this Dragunov guy? Like, what do you say? He's a guy who wrestles. You know, like, Melo Hayes has the machismo, the personality. He'll be a star in WWE. He'll be a perennial guy you'll see on SmackDown, on Raw when they do the brand shifts and whatever, the trades and the drafts. But Dragunov, I mean, sure, he'll have good matches. You know, I don't think he's only like, I viewed Gunther in that light, like Volta, like years ago, 2 years ago. But Walter's proven himself. Gunther's proven himself to be, I guess, a bit better. Have a bit more of a presence in WWE when he comes out. I'm not there on Dragunov. I don't know what he can do, but to me, he's just a guy who has good matches. So will he be able to get out of that bubble, that mold? Hopefully he does, because otherwise, don't see him having much of a future in WWE. But nonetheless, Kevin, I want to move on to Fastlane. Okay?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Pal, this show, it depends how you look at it. Some look at this as just a filler show to get through to Survivor Series. Others look at it as, oh my God, Fastlane's coming up. I'm sort of like, cool, it's happening, right? Like, there's a few rematches of things we've seen. There's a couple of matches which are basically SmackDown or Raw matches. Really, the main match that they're doing, the big selling point match to watch this show from the Raw and SmackDown build is John Cena and LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso and Sikoa. That's the iteration of the Bloodline right now. I thought what they did on SmackDown. Will we start on that? I'll take it. We'll just begin there, the main event.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, pal.
Go for it. What they're doing on SmackDown, I mean, Cena's back, which I want to just shout. I mean, this is John Cena. So any criticisms, I mean, it's not really on Cena. I mean, having Cena back is just cool. You know, I'm watching Cena come out, confront Jimmy Uso, confront Sikoa, punching them. It's just cool stuff. Cena rushing. Styles has been carted out in the ambulance. Cena's there crying. There's gonna be flashbacks to like Zack Ryder. He's standing there crying. Eve Torres is crying. Kane's off laughing sadistically. Cena's looking in the ambulance like he's crying.
Wow.
Zack Ryder gets rushed out. Carl Anderson being like, "Damn the bloodline," and he just like gets in the ambulance. Like, great stuff. I thought they were going to tease AJ Styles as Roman Reigns. It seems like they're going to do LA Knight versus Roman Reigns in the coming months. It seems like so. That waits to be seen. I guess that'll be LA Knight's big opportunity. The reactions he gets really good. His theme music works for a make the save sort of wrestler. When Cena's getting beaten up for 15 minutes and the last 2 SmackDowns, which can I just say, it was cool when Knight came out. This week, the SmackDown before, when it was literally a 10-minute beatdown of Cena, where Jimmy Uso just kept hitting frog splashes over and over, and SmackDown just ended. I was like, well, that was crap.
Interesting.
Like we're 3 years into the Bloodline storyline. Roman Reigns is too lazy to show up, sitting on his couch for 2 straight months. And all we've got is Jimmy Uso, a guy who can't be relied on to main event the show.
Oh no.
A guy who isn't proven yet, and then Heyman's there. And we have to praise it because it's cinema, I guess. I don't know, but needless to say, when LA Knight came out, I was like, okay, there we go. That's the bit of progression. Here he is. The storyline's going to roll into Fastlane. My prediction, LA Knight gets the win. He pins Jimmy Uso. Sikoa's going to be protected. Cena will get a hot tag and hit his, 5 moves of doom. He'll do his, 5-knuckle shuffle. We'll see the bald spot, pal. He'll do all his stuff. The crowd will go off. The show's going to end if this main events. It really should because Cena's involved. He's the biggest star. There you go. The show ends. You'll never catch me in the next man's sweater, pal. LA Knight, hate, let him hate. I'll drop your whole plan. LA Knight, yeah, for the 3-second tan, pal. There you go.
So you don't think we'll see a bit of friendly competition here between like Cena and LA Knight, kind of teasing towards a match between the two, maybe for a Survivor Series? You don't think there's a possibility for that? You think we'll see LA Knight like, hey, bro, I can one up you. I'm younger. I'm better than you, pal. You don't think we'll see anything like that?
You should have seen Cena's acting when LA Knight signed the contract. Like Cena, this was peak like corny Cena, where he's like jumping around like he's like an 8-year-old on Christmas morning with like a heap of big presents. He's like, oh my god, I'm like, this guy's been a 15-time or 16-time WWE champion. He's been with so many hookers. He's been the champion. He's main event at WrestleMania against The Rock twice, one of which CM Punk should have been involved in. He's beaten Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania and derailed his momentum. He's done all these things.
Wow.
And this is John Cena on the greatest of all time. Wow. And he's having he's giddy. He's jumping up and down. Yay! LA Knight! I just found that his acting was hilarious. Like Cena's acting, I don't know. It's some of it's so corny. It's just funny and entertaining. But that being said, Kevin, the match should be fun. It should be interesting. It should main event. Cena's involved. You shouldn't be main eventing with anything above Cena. So
how about that big pop, pal? When LA Knight came to aid John Cena, that pop was crazy, huh? It was an Austin-like pop.
There you go, pal. LA Knight, yeah.
LA Knight's big star. This is a big for LA Knight. We'll see what happens here. I assume Cena and LA Knight will get the win. Will that be by hook or crook? Who knows? Will it end in a disqualification? Will we have another cousin of the Usos, the Solo Sikoa, show up? Who knows? Will Jey Uso be involved in this? We don't know. Will Roman Reigns come back? I don't know. But I want to ask you this, pal.
Why would Roman Reigns be involved? He only holds 3 world championship belts and been the champion for 3 and a bit years. Why would he be involved?
I know.
I thought Kevin, we could hike and harp on this for ages. I have been proven so right that Roman Reigns winning a WrestleMania this year was a bad decision. He hasn't showed up for about 4 months of content since.
Stop it, pal.
Just show up once. It's 2 months. SmackDown is watchable without him. It's not like the worst show, but it needs Roman Reigns.
No, it doesn't.
Like, I'm watching this show, like, Roman Reigns is the heartbeat of this company. He holds the championships, and he's just, and our bloodline content, our storyline is, Heyman's on the phone, pal. Roman might be on the phone on Skype, pal. Oh, there's Jimmy Uso. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, serious question for you, pal. Let's do like a bit of a hypothetical here just for a moment. Let's say
Yeah.
Nick Khan takes a page out of the Tony Khan philosophy of booking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Khan presented to us in the opening match of Fastlane 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns in a handicap match versus Los Lotharios, right? Would you be enticed to upgrade to Peacock Premium or get it on Binge or buy the show on Fight Network?
Los Lotharios.
Yes, Los Lotharios. That is the tag team of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Imagine that, right? Nick Khan, again, borrowing from the Tony Khan philosophy of booking. You know, Nick Khan
Yep.
calls Triple H in a room. It's just Nick Khan and Triple H one-on-one. No roads to the top cameras. And no WWE Network crews. Just Triple H, Nick Khan, one-on-one. Nick Khan is like, Paul, this is our match here. Big money match. AEW did it at Wrestle Dream last week. They had their champion involved in an opening match with two nobodies from Ring of Honor. We got to do the same thing. We got to get Roman Reigns back. We got to give him $10 million to show up at Fastlane, and he's got to face Los Lotharios in a 2-on-1 handicap match. I mean, what could go wrong, right? How would you feel about that if Roman showed up for that? How just in general, how would that make you feel?
That would be disgusting. That would be as bad as if 2014 Brock Lesnar, who'd just broken the streak and murdered Cena at SummerSlam, his Survivor Series position was facing Slater Gator in a 1-on-2 handicap to open the show.
Right.
And he's out there suplexing Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil, and we got Brock Lesnar shouting "Suplex City, bitch," throwing Heath Slater. It's like that'd be crap. But no, I'm happy WWE. Like, I mean, obviously, I say we want Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns is going to be doing what MJF's doing with this sort of stuff, where it's just like a 1-on-2 handicap against literal nobodies to open pay-per-views, then just, I mean, don't do that. That's garbage. Kevin, what's your prediction for the match, pal? LA Knight, gets the win?
Yeah. LA Knight gets the dub. He gets the people's elbow, his variation of it. The crowd goes home happy. Cena and LA Knight get their hands held high, pal. And now on to the next match.
Yes.
Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. Triple threat match for the WWE Women's Champion. The narrative is really coming around on X, on Wrestling X nowadays. That Charlotte Flair, I guess people are just now catching on to this. That Charlotte Flair is like the most forced superstar and most forced legend into a GOAT debate with her bloated resume. I guess people are just catching on to this. I don't know. And she's here again in another triple threat match. I don't care. I don't care for another women's triple threat match. I have no interest in watching this. I hate to be blunt and harsh, but I just don't care. I'm not gonna watch. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna enjoy it. There's like, and then I'm gonna listen to podcasts and reviews, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, this match is 7 stars, best women's match in the last 10 years." I just don't. I guess I'll be watching a different show than everyone else. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, I'm going to be objectively. Obviously, there's the Charlotte thing, which when we've touched on at length, like I can't even consider her top 50 because when she went away for 7 months in 2020, 2021, she came back. I wasn't like, oh my god, we need Charlotte back. I didn't miss her at all. Then she came back. I'm like, oh, she's back, great. Because who cares? You know what Charlotte is? She comes out. I'm the queen. I'm going to be in the women's title match. Who cares? Io Sky, cool. She's the champion. The matches can be good. Is there something else? Right? I don't know. Like, I watched SmackDown. The whole thing was literally Charlotte came out and was like, Bayley, you're a rung down on the ladder from Io Sky. You're Io Sky. You're second to her. Ha ha ha. You're washed, Bayley. And then they had a match. So that's the build. Io Sky didn't say anything or really do anything. She just stood there with the title, and she's gonna have a good match at the pay-per-view. I guess that's all you need to do nowadays. But the story for this, literally, I guess they're trying to turn Bayley on Io Sky. Maybe we might get that. They might try and turn Damage Control. I don't know. That's why I got out watching SmackDown. But yeah, Kevin, I'm saying I don't really care about this. It's just a women's triple threat. I feel like they always do a women's triple threat match in some way, shape, or form with one of the titles. Usually, this one is not the Rhea Ripley title; it's the other one. It'll be some sort of triple threat. Charlotte will probably be involved because when's she not? Asuka will probably be somewhere around the mix. It was Belair. Now it's Io Sky. Cool.
My question for you is this, right? with Seth Rollins and Nakamura, we've gotten this what 8 week long now, 8 week long storyline now, 6 weeks, however long it's been, of Nakamura being obsessed with Seth Rollins' back and putting him in a wheelchair, and he doesn't want
Yeah.
to see him play with his kids and all that, so on and so forth.
Yep.
Why can't we get that same storytelling with the women? Why can't Io Sky and Asuka have a one-on-one story? Like they could get, I don't know how raunchy they could get, but they could make up something like, oh, back in Japan, Asuka slept with Io Sky's husband or something. Like, can't we get anything, any kind of storyline? Like they could fight over the paint that Asuka wears, anything, just any kind of storyline. Is that possible for the women, or is it only the men that the writers can think of storylines for? I don't understand.
This is the reality or a pal. Yeah, do something. They're wrestling in style and they're wrestling in some promotion. And this maybe was 10 years ago, but Io Sky was just blatantly disrespectful as a young wrestler. Or Asuka, she's great, but at the time she's going through something in her life, and she slapped Io backstage once, and that's stayed with Io for 10 years. And now that she's the champion, she wants to get revenge on that. Something, I don't know. Give me something I can explain in our podcast, because all we've got is Charlotte saying, "Oh, Bailey, you're washed. You're not as good as you were. We're the four horsewomen, and you're now just taking a backseat to Io, and Io is just there with the title, and then Dakota Kai's there with a knee brace, and that's the storyline. Okay, and Asuka runs out, is smiling. I don't know, Kevin. Do you want to move on?
Yeah, Io Sky is gonna win, keep her championship. That's my prediction. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte Flair got her 15th title win. I'll say that. Yeah. So now we got the LWO, the Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and whoever they want to wrestle, Cruz del Toro or Joaquin Wilde, versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. This match is intriguing for one reason for me. It's really like the first time we get to see this Bobby Lashley and Street Profits tandem in action in a real way on a pay-per-view. They had teased this for a while. I don't quite get it. Are they heels? I guess they are, because they're in suits and they act like they're better than everyone. So I guess they're heels. From a storyline perspective, is the storyline blowing anyone away? Probably not. The match will be good. You got, Montez Ford and Rey Mysterio in there, and Santos Escobar, some extremely athletic dudes. Then you got the muscle of like Bobby Lashley. So it should be a good match. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not really sure going into it. What do you think about this?
Well, I think the storyline's good. Like the stuff they did with this on SmackDown was actually quite entertaining. They're doing the Grayson Waller effect with Lashley, which was a hilarious, entertaining segment.
That was fun.
Lashley's like, they didn't prove themselves. The Street Profits, they failed me. They were pathetic. And then the storyline becomes the Street Profits need to prove themselves, and they beat up the wrestlers later on. And I thought it was quite good. Like this is well built on SmackDown. What they're doing for this is good, and Lashley in this role works. It just does. So I look forward to it. I think it's a great position for everyone involved on the show. It's something meaningful for them to do. Where they go with this, I'd assume Lashley's group would win. I mean, they're the new faction you're trying to establish. Having them lose would be a bit weird, I think. But
I agree.
Yeah. There you have it, pal. No, I think we can move on to another match now. Rollins and Nakamura, you touched on it a moment ago. This storyline's been going on for a while now, which was good. But when we did the preview for Payback, they've been feuding for like 3 weeks, and all we'd seen was Nakamura kick Rollins. Rollins be like, "You kicked me, let's have a match." And then Nakamura mentioned Rollins is back in like one promo segment. So that's what we got then. But now it's been fleshed out more. Now there's more meat on the bone. It's been the best work each guy has done in a while.
I agree.
Nakamura especially, like it's been the best thing he's done in maybe his entire main roster run. The WWE, really. And for Rollins, it's been the best thing he's been involved in since the Edge feud. So, no, Ken, what do you expect from this match? What do you want to see, pal?
I want to see them go all out. They didn't really do that in their last match at Payback. It was just like, they toned it down a little bit. They were doing more storytelling and that classic, like, Southern wrestling style that really isn't all that intriguing anymore in 2023. I want to see them go all out. I want to see, like, a Sami Zayn versus Nakamura NXT TakeOver Dallas style match. Now, is this a grand enough stage for that? Maybe not, but when are these guys going to wrestle again for the World Heavyweight Championship? I hope not too many more matches after this. Yeah. I kind of want to see this be the end of the feud. I want to see a good 20-minute match, 18-minute match, back and forth, crowd investment. I want to see Rollins win, the two guys shake hands, hug, whatever, and be done with it. And on to the next thing for Rollins.
Yeah, no, I'm perhaps the same. Also, one more thing on Fastlane. I mean, those are like the matches they've got announced, and in my honest opinion, if they haven't announced a match like 3 or 4 days before the show, as is the case now, it's not really that much of an important priority. Some other matches, I mean, they might do a Gunther match. Probably it would be against like Ciampa or something. I mean, Gunther would obviously retain. He's not going to lose, but it'd just be a filler sort of mid card match. You'd think something like that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean it's similar to when he wrestled that cokehead, Matt Riddle. It's pretty similar to that one.
Yep.
Except this one isn't as bad since it's not Riddle.
Yep.
Ciampa gets that award, just not being Riddle. He gets that, so that's great.
Speaking of Riddle, do you see Randy Orton at this show?
I don't think so. No, I think they were. If they're gonna bring Randy Orton back, they're gonna do it in a grander stage. I think he's just doing the Performance Center to kind of tune up and get ready, take some bumps, shake the ring rust off. I would hope like Survivor Series or hold him off to the Royal Rumble if you can.
Yep.
I think that would make the most sense. We don't really need to see Randy Orton. What is he gonna do, right? Randy Orton comes out, he confronts Gunther, and Gunther's like, "Oh, I'm better than you, pal."
Yeah. Well, because on Raw, the main story or one of them is they're going to do a Cody and McIntyre feud, which should be quite good. I think that's where they're going at the moment, the direction. So I think what they're going to do, based on what I've been watching on Raw, they'll do Judgment Day, so Balor and Priest defend the tag titles against Jey Uso and Cody, probably at this show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd assume Drew McIntyre costs Cody, and then Judgment Day retain, I guess, because I think that's what it seems like they'll do. Any thoughts on that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean it's intriguing enough. Whatever that'd be Fergie and Priest, versus Cody and Jay. I'd like to see it. I can't with Fergal anymore, man. I can't do it anymore. Like I really can't. I can't stand watching this guy be the focal point of Raw. Him being the focal point of Raw does nothing for anyone. Does nothing for the Judgment Day. You've got Dominic, Rhea Ripley, and Priest who are all 10 times better than him at the least 10 times better than him. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't want to see any more of this guy. I want to see Damian Priest start taking the spotlight and actually being Mr. Money in the Bank. I get it. They're waiting for Bad Bunny. I understand all that. But and you got to build the guy up so he's ready for Bad Bunny,
Couldn't agree more. No, and that's really Fastlane. I mean, the event will probably be similar sort of to Payback. Like, shows that are like this where they're not underwhelming going in, but not shows you go in thinking, oh my God, this is going to be incredible. Usually they end up being the really good ones. So waits to be seen. I think match of the night will be Rollins and Nakamura. It'll probably get the highest star rating. But probably match of the most fun watching. Probably the Lashley, Street Profits, LWO thing, or maybe Cena and Knight. That'll probably be the most fun, I assume.
Cena and LA Knight will definitely be the most fun. The crowd will be the hottest for that, I think.
Yeah. So, I think no Roman Reigns, no Randy Orton. Yeah. Hopefully the show ends better than Payback did. Payback literally just ended. Rollins just won and just ended. Hopefully there's something at the ending. And WWE didn't do a second straight pay-per-view. It's just a meh ending. So, Kevin, anything else? Or are we going to wrap it up?
I'll ask you this. Let's do this real quick before we get out of here. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you think this show will be?
As in, like, what rating it will get?
Yeah, what do you think? Like just on paper, looking at the card, what are you thinking right now? Like a 6 out of 10 show?
About that. I mean, my investment going in is about a 4 or 5. Coming out, the rating will probably be like a 6 to 7. Maybe if they really go all out and the wrestlers really kill it, it could be like an 8 out of 10 show. But I don't think with what's on paper, it's going to be a show we look back on in years and think, damn, that Fastlane show. Because these sort of events, Backlash was a show like this, a sort of B, C show, but they made it feel like an A show this year. Same Elimination Chamber. Payback and now this one don't have that same feel. They're just what we got a few years ago. So
yeah, I think it has potential to be like one of, if not like the worst PLE of the year, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's all good. There you go.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys on the next one. This has been the only Fastlane preview that you need, pal. Peace.
Easy peace.